ready to rock and roll. And we are rock and rolling here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It is the home team that wins the tip-off and will have the first possession. This Marquette team looking to snap a 2-game losing streak, trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak that has not happened in the last 2 seasons under their head coach, as Forbes immediately is really double-teamed down low.
Well, you can see the defense by UConn being very disruptive. Right away, Forbes double-teamed. Kara Consuegra told us yesterday they did that to her in the last game, anticipating it again. That man-to-man defense, it's so solid in terms of the discipline. It almost looks like a zone because of how well disciplined they are in the gaps.
Forbes with a block on the other end. Denies AZ Fudd, and that's exactly what Skylar Forbes can do. The leading scorer for the Golden Eagles also leads the way with 44 blocks. Make that 45 after that last play. Volker has been hot from beyond the arc, not this time. Second chance here, Jaden Mason.
Yes, when you're looking at Volker, she's shooting 44% from 2 and 44% from 3. That one just off the mark.
Skylar Forbes off the mark as well, off iron, but it's another second opportunity here, or third at least, on this possession for the Golden Eagles. The basket is waved off. A travel is called on Skylar Forbes. And Marquette is led by head coach Kara Consuegra in her second season at the helm. And by the way, this matchup features the reigning Big East co-coaches of the year. That includes Coach Consuegra, who guided Marquette to a 21-win season in her first year at the helm. But what she told us, Christy, is last year we really didn't face a lot of adversity. So much went right. And speaking of right, Williams gets denied inside. The Marquette defense going right here early. Mason going to pull it back out, but this year this Marquette team, Christy, has dealt with a boatload of injuries. Their starting point guard, Olivia Porter, out for the season.
Yeah, absolutely, and that really does a number for you, as you saw Mason pull up in the mid-range, especially against a team like UConn, where you're going to need multiple primary basketball handlers on the floor to handle the pressure.
They were strong off iron, so it's a 2-0 start here for Marquette. This UConn team also got off to a slow start on Wednesday against Creighton. They were up by just 2 possessions after the first quarter, which is unusual with how dominant they've been in conference play.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, you have the confidence, obviously, of being able to string games together like that, but at the same time, you know that Marquette's coming off of a 2-game losing streak, but before that, they had won 5 consecutive games, so they've been able to do some great things, and looking to do it here again at home, where they are great, 9-3.
Yeah, that win streak followed by the losing streak, affected by Olivia Porter not being in the lineup again with an injury. There's head coach Gino Auriemma, been on the bench for 4+ decades for UConn, leads the nation in career wins, win percentage, 12 national championships, a number of National Coach of the Year awards. I mean, he's the best there is.
The maestro, that's what I'm going to call him. Let's just tag that on him, because my goodness, 41 years of excellence, sustained over decades. Gino Auriemma, the best to ever do it.
The best to ever do it, looking to lead his UConn Huskies to an undefeated national championship season yet again.
Take a look and see what happened on that previous possession, trying to get over top and blitz Lee Volker, just a little too extracurricular with the contact.
Arnold called for her first foul, the first team foul here for UConn in this first quarter. There's some pressure from Strong on the outside. 9 on the shot clock now.
And trying to match some angles to get an entry touch to Forbes.
Mason puts up a tough shot and it goes down. 5-0 start for Marquette.
Mason only shoots at 28% from 3, so that one, the move ball from range, just what Marquette needed to go up 5-0.
Late in the shot clock, too, as Jana El-Alfi is checked in here for UConn. AZ Fudd rises up inside the arc. Batted out of play, and it goes the other direction.
And that's something else that Marquette's going to need, right? Rebounds and disallowing second chance opportunities, as they'll keep possession here. But on the previous one, ooh, between the legs, size it up, go under the screen and get trapped there. Boom, all net from range for Jade Mason.
Good to see her bash it in, baby.
Toughie.
Head to the bank.
Now, she's one of my favorite players to watch. She just brings energy and mojo, and that's what you want to see from your players if you're her coach, Kara Consuegra. She is just the engine for this team.
Vice comes up short. Volker flies in for the O-board.
It's good to have a backup engine, too. Daggone Lee Volker flying in, untouched there on the glass for a second chance opportunity here.
1 second on the shot clock. Mason forced to throw it up, and it is a shot clock violation.
Gino Auriemma, he told us, he said in their last game against Creighton, point guard for Creighton had 23 in their first game, and then the second game just 5, so they know how to fine-tune, especially when you see teams the second time around in conference play. So not a lot that you are going to change, but you have to anticipate changes from your opponents sometimes. So I always like to ask coaches that, like, what do you see strategically? And what did you glean from the first game?
Yep, it's a great question, as Marquette now has a couple different substitutes in. Jordan Melman's down low as the ball's bouncing around. There's another sub, Bridget Upward, who comes up with the ball.
And an early blitz here after the rebound.
And a jump ball is called. Some of the fans making some noise here, though. I think they wanted a foul.
Carrick and Swagger are making some noise, too.
Yeah.
Well, the officials right now trying to figure out what the world is going on here. But let's take a look. Yeah, you dribble it. That's when UConn can just surge onto you. And you saw Ashlyn Shade getting that jump ball. Oh, double. Or carry.
Yeah,
She did both.
Yeah, she did both. She did both. So there you go. You're on point there, Christy. But a miscue there for AZ Fun.
2 engines on this side for Marquette. Travel and the carry over here.
Yep. Here you see this UConn press doing what they do. Marquette spent quite a bit of time working on press breaking yesterday during practice.
Carrick and Swagger said that they didn't really have that much trouble with the press. She told us yesterday that, you know, it was in the quarter court where they had most of their miscues on the offensive end, and UConn was able to turn that into early offense.
Speaking of early offense, AZ Fun gets the offense going. UConn on the board.
And I like to say that her shot release is as quick as a hiccup. I mean, not much you can do, even if you have a hand in place. I mean, she is just so mechanically sound with how she shoots in, and it starts with her feet. Feet get set, and the flick of the wrist is sweet.
Yeah, the technique on her shot, it's beautiful to watch. Shooting more than 45% from 3.
Phenomenal.
And averaging 23 points per game, and more than that even as Forbes tries from 3. Can't get it to go in the month of February. AZ Fun's been on fire.
Yeah, I mean, she's been absolutely phenomenal, coming off of the national championship where she was most valuable player of the Final Four.
There's a foul called as KK Arnold drives to the basket.
They might foul like that, but you know, most of the time you're going to make probably half of those or a little less than half.
Yep.
So as long as you're taking good quality looks for the team, I don't have a problem with it. But what I'd love from Marquette right now, they've turned UConn over 3 times and they've scored 5 points off of those. UConn right now, 0 points off of 3 turnovers by Marquette. So the script has proverbially been switched, dare I say, on the defensive end. Marquette coming up strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing for Marquette, 3-0 edge on the offensive glass. They've been able to extend some possessions. Forbes really just under quite a bit of pressure inside. She kind of smiles, says, my bad, as she runs back down the floor.
Yeah, crowded up on that low side, right? You saw AZ Fudd crowding the space up the line and being there for any lob situations and just jam that space.
Yeah, Coach Consuegra talked about how Forbes may need to be more of a playmaker and trying to get the ball out of her hands quickly in some of those situations.
Absolutely, especially when that double converges in her area. So go ahead and pivot and look opposite. Opposite, lane line extended, foul line extended. That spot is always open.
Shade with an aggressive look from the baseline. Fudd. Extra pass. Haley Heckel checking into the game on the drive. Oh, good pass. Shade kind of got tripped up, though, which leads to a whistle and a traveling violation. Fortunate break.
Yeah, a tough one there, but what a solid look and a great pass by Heckel. Nice patience, tried to drop it back door, and then Ashlyn Shade just took a tumble.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky, and checking in here is Ali Zabel, the sophomore guard, who's been shooting the leather off the ball. I think that would be an appropriate description here, Christy, for the way she's been knocking them down from range.
Yeah, blistering from range, and you just love to see it. I mean, with so many All-Americans, Gino Ariema told us prior to the game that she had been deferring to her All-American teammates. Well, it's All-American AZ Fudd and Sarah Strong. Well, you're an All-American too. You're 5th in the country coming in as a recruit. So go ahead and do you, and I think she's released that and done a great job.
Ball out of play, but it will stay here. Zabel, McDonald's All-American, 2-time Gatorade Wisconsin Player of the Year, back in her home state for this one, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Hoopers across the board, and right here, defensively, Sarah Strong sending that out with ease. Clean up top block.
Sarah Strong with 80-plus blocks this season as she just gets it done defensively time and time again.
And now, you know, I was going to say 81, like Kobe.
Yeah, there you go.
But now it's 82 because she got 2 in the last couple
there
plays.
we go.
But yeah, just a massive talent. Only a sophomore, Sarah Strong. just debilitating in terms of opponents trying to find ways to stop her. 3-level scorer and initiator off of rebounds.
Pops it from 3. Can't get it to go that time. Strong surpassed 1,000 career points a couple weeks back against Notre Dame, midway through her sophomore year.
Yeah, Forbes just 4 points away from that herself.
Yep. Forbes, unfortunately, gives it away. Once again, trying to catch that interior pass. Zabel on the break. Back to Fudd. Fudd with time, and she doesn't miss.
Didn't need much time for that. Nice crackback action, sending it out to AZ Fudd for an on-time triple for the Huskies.
Fudd leading all scorers with 6 points, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc to start off this game.
Yeah, that's all she needs. I mean, time and space for shooters like that. Cannot give them either one. AZ Fudd maximizing it.
Fudd averaging 17.5 points per game as Heckler goes to ground and a foul is called. Mason getting helped up by her teammates.
Well, as her mom, Katie Fudd, would say, if you Fudd around, you will find out. You will find out 3 things, those 3 things. Oh, my God. I mean, top 5 in the country in terms of her 3-point shooting prowess. She's a machine when it comes to her ability to score the basketball.
I love that phrase. Fudd around and find out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to find out if I was on the floor with AZ Fudd. No, I would not.
I don't want to know about it.
Absolutely. Heckler called for her first foul. Second team foul here on UConn as Marquette gets another opportunity, but just 7 on the shot clock now. Perkins. 2 to shoot. Gotta go. Gotta go. Puts it up off the glass. It did catch the rim.
Good switch on that one by Heckle and Arnold.
Strong. Comes up short. Fight for the rebound. Mason comes away with it.
Uncharacteristically, a couple of shots inside by Strong, coming up short on the rim.
Ball over the top to Vice. Nicely done. Great execution by the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, very nice spacing, but that pass had to be put exactly where it was put. Right in the pocket. All she had to do was lift and flick it. Tremendous.
Marquette within 1 here. The fans getting into it on their home floor. Strong with the fake. Blows by. Vice gets it inside and for an opportunity for the sophomore sensation.
And Mason probably wondering, man, I probably should have tagged her a little harder because, and I don't even know if that would have made a difference because Sarah Strong is that. I mean, she has such a powerful game, and right here takes it right downstairs, gets touched up, smooch off the window for a deuce and the harm. And not much contact there. I think that left hand must have been on the back, but I'm saying, like, don't let her score it.
Yeah,
and you saw Mason like, dang,
yeah,
like, I didn't really do much, but you did something, but it wasn't enough. Like everyone across the country this season with undefeated UConn, 26-0. I mean, they've tried their best as well and have come up short.
Yep, UConn's won 42 straight games dating back to last season, 62 straight Big East games, including tournament play.
A 46-point differential in conference play over opponents. I mean, it's just amazing to see their consistency on both sides of the ball, and it's their defense. I mean, they're top 3 in the country in a lot of defensive statistics.
As right on cue, they take it away, and Volker gets called for the foul. Team foul here on Marquette late in this first quarter.
I mean, you're looking at what UConn has been able to do defensively. I mean, they only give up 50 points for opponents, which is first in the country, and only allow 33% for opponents from the floor. I mean, it's just amazing that they are able to stay on a string that way and defensively bring the smoke.
It is interesting that they do apply pressure and they can get it done with the presses. Fudd tries it beyond the arc, but then they're still tough to break down the half courts. A lot of times it's one or the other. You get broke down in the press, the team can get an easy 2, but they recover.
Right, but they shadow those rebounders, and it really makes it tough if a perimeter player gets the rebound, as they did on the last play.
KK Arnold back in and pushing pace. Ooh, KK Arnold! That was a thing of beauty.
That was my crossover because my left hand was not great. So the in and out, hey, that was tough. KK Arnold with a slivering move to the rim.
Volker with a 3-point response.
I told y'all she could let it fly. 44% striker from range, especially in transition. Even though that one was covered up pretty well defensively. See, AZ Fudd and Lee Volker played AAU basketball together in the DMV. They know one another very well. They're matched up at the present moment with GTS Fusion. They had a great run. Bree Scott was on that team too, Georgetown 5th-year player.
Marquette hunting for the last shot here of this first quarter. Down by just 3. Heaved up, misses everything. Weiss almost able to.
This iteration of Husky basketball is better than last year's championship team, and he said, you know, we just have more guys that can do more things.
Yeah.
So that to me, I mean, he didn't say, because, you know, I have 3 kids, you're not going to say like anything about your event. Different iterations are different. They're just different, and it's a cornucopia of things. But he is saying we can look down the bench and do a lot more things with what we have, like that.
And then at the top of the bench, yeah, you've got AZ Fudd, who is red hot from beyond the arc, continues that streak here to open the second quarter. Now a 6-point lead for UConn. Right. The other thing is kind of funny to that point, Christy. Someone asked him, and he's always shied away from. They're like, "Is this your best defensive team you've ever had?" He wouldn't like flat out say it, but he did say that, like, listen, they are locked in a different way than what we've seen in recent years.
Yeah, they're locked in for sure, and that's what you want to see as a coach, especially on the defensive end, because you know a high level of the percentage of your shots can come off of those turnovers, and that's what Gino told us prior to the game. Yep. He said we want to be disruptive and speed them up and turn them over and go the other way with them.
Shot clock violation. They're successful in speeding up Marquette in the half court that time. Now, I do want to give some credit to the Golden Eagles. 13 points for UConn in the first after a slow first quarter. Just 13 points for the Huskies. Held a 3-point lead heading into the second. But an early 3 from AZ Fudd, expanding that.
Yeah, I mean, UConn just missed a couple of chippies inside. I think that changed things as well.
Not getting the friendly roll here on the road. Ball out of play, it stays here.
Consuegra holding her temples on that one because, they were playing a little volleyball down in there with the basketball. Sarah Strong trying to go after it and corral it. Now see.
Yeah, wait a second.
I think Consuegra may have been onto something.
Yeah.
Ooh la la. Oh boy. On this Valentine's Day, ooh la la.
Ooh la la, love it. Well, Ashlyn Shea, loving the 2 that she just hit, but Melman's with the answer, a big 3 to keep Marquette within 2 possessions.
I love the resiliency of this Marquette team, right? Whenever UConn feels like they're on a run or trying to get some momentum, they come right back and answer it. Here's that swarming defense on Lee Volker, and that's what Gino Ariema said. We're going to get in her space and make her give the basketball up. Pass that instead of entry pass close to that base.
Rose to the occasion, especially when the team struggled in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, they won by over 40 points against Tennessee in that game. My goodness, I mean.
My goodness, as Volker gets in transition, but Fudd recovers, is able to disrupt. Heckel going the other way, finds Shade for the transition tray. Forbes the rebounds, able to get it out of pressure.
Yeah, here they go again. The familiarity of the former AAU teammates to the DMV.
There we go.
AZ Fudd got a piece of that one in the open floor. And did a good job of disallowing an easy bucket by Volker in the open court.
Volker with just 1 made 3, averaging 12 points per game on that 45% plus shooting from beyond the arc, as we talked about. Meanwhile, Skylar Forbes trying to go to work inside.
Yeah, Sarah Williams, the transfer out of Wisconsin, just down the road here, was Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year in 2024. But right here, a little too egregious with the contact there on Forbes as the airborne shooter.
Williams, the 6'4" senior forward, as you mentioned, transferring in from Wisconsin, a former Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, a great shot blocker when she is able to disrupt without fouling, of course. But also a 2-time All-Big Ten first-team selection. Trying to find her way still, though, and talking to Coach Ariema the past couple weeks, said it's been an adjustment period. Very different offense than what she was used to at Wisconsin.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but wow, look at all the pressure she is able to take off of Sarah Strong on the interior in terms of defense, bringing another player in there to rotate, and playing alongside of one another. I just think it's a really special dynamic that's still continuing to evolve.
It's another piece of the depth puzzle as it's given away there by Shade, though. UConn with some early turnovers. Upper pops. And there's a foul on the floor in that fight for the rebound. Fudd initially came away with it. All called on UConn. Allie Zabel gets called for her first.
Yeah, everybody went up at the same time on that one. Which can't be clamping down, hooking and holding down in there.
Second team foul here midway through this second quarter. Coach Ariema mentioning defending and being aggressive without fouling is something the team can fine-tune as Volker hits it off iron.
But I love that elevator action on the out-of-bounds underplay with the 2 guards there giving a screen for Volker.
Thud. A lot of time there for her to take the shot. A little surprised based on how well she's shooting. She's had some opportunities. For the opportunity in the paint, and she splashes it in.
I love that move by Lee Volker, the initiator. Gets a steal or gets a rebound down the other side and puts pressure on the paint. And gets right down into the money, into that Big East logo, and drops it in the midi. I love that.
Volker standing at 6'1", a guard who's a bit of a mismatch. Coach Consuegra talking about how much she can do a little bit of everything for this team, as there is a foul called, and the fans here a little bit frustrated.
I mean, this is a one-possession game. This Marquette team is playing some ravenous defense and playing an attack mode mentality with their offense. But watch here on the rebound, trying to get positioning down inside. You see there was that hold. You see that clamp down. That's the worst thing when you're trying to jump up. Daisy just lost that one, slipped right out of her hands.
Bidiaco was given the foul, the 6'3" junior forward for Marquette. As you mentioned, a little bit of quick action, some extracurriculars going on in the fight on the glass, but got to credit both these teams really mixing it up. Marquette very aggressive in rebounding here early going. They have the +5 edge.
Yeah, but you got to show your hands up high. You're quicker to the ball anyway, and have your hands down by your hip, and that's where you get clamped up. Show your hands high.
Forbes trying to go up with it, but speaking of high hands, Sarah Williams ready inside. A crowd of UConn players leads to a jump ball.
And that's the value of having a player like Sarah Williams shoring up the interior on the defensive side. Here she is right there to meet as the helper. Rotate over and roll up. Tremendous.
UConn looking to end a 236 scoring drought, but the defense has been good here these last couple possessions. Thud with the move and can't get it to go.
Well, she rejected that ball screen right there and was trying to spin and win with that triple just off the mark.
Elmans puts it on the deck, finds Forbes up through traffic, the hoop and the harm. Skylar Forbes is fired up.
How about that, Skylar Forbes? Tremendous hands, catch it high, keep it high, and finish in the painted area. Great drop-off pass, and then Skylar Forbes can just go to work and switch that off the window. Look at the smile. I mean, she's having fun with it, right? I mean, she came off the bench for a handful of games, but she, in the last 2 games in particular, over 20 points for her, so she's been trending upward. And sometimes, you know, you need a reset, especially at this juncture of the season. Coach Consuegra, she knows. And trying to just measure what would be best for the team. And maybe, hey, take a look, just watch. Because sometimes that helps you mentally to watch a little bit and then get into the game and then go do it. And she's been able to master that in the last couple, scoring over 20.
Forbes has now surpassed 1,000 career points with that last basket, so congratulations to her on what is an impressive feat in college basketball. And as Christy pointed out, did really take on the challenge of coming in off the bench well, according to Coach Consuegra. Still was very productive, led the team last game with 17 points against Seton Hall. Now can she do it while starting again after a little bit of a reset?
Yeah, 60 points for Forbes in the last 3 games.
Great passing, and Jenna Al-Alfi cashes in down low.
Yeah, great high-low look, and that's what UConn does exceptionally well. Get right there at the nail, and Sarah Strong with her vision and ability. You know, you heard Gino Auriemma equate her skill set to Nikola Jokic for the Denver Nuggets with her ability to play make.
Heckel flying, hits the deck. Oh, ball loose. Multiple changes of possession, and Utberg just steps out of bounds. UConn basketball.
Oh, you know, Lee Volker wanted that back. I felt that through my bones for her, and she saw that she was over the line, and she just upset with herself on that one. But it's great hustle, but she just had to wait 1 beat to let her clear the half-court line before she tried to get it to her. Oh. And then Coach Consuegra just taps her on the back. That's all right, baby. You know, we're back for the next play. We're next play mentality. Because I think she knows how Lee Volker is set up competitively. She always asks her, what can I do better? What can I do? And she's so high-strung in that way. And I love when coaches can take the pressure off players in that way. Tap them on the back, say, hey, I know you wanted to fix that. You can do it next time.
That's one thing about Coach Consuegra. She's so tuned into her team, but there's Kaylee Heckel with the steal and the score. UConn goes up by 4.
Nicely done there by Heckel, being able to size up the defense and make that spinning move.
Arnold got a hand on it. Strong came up short. Fudd with a shot fake, steps it into mid-range. She is automatic and then so...
Teams to just 50 points at a 33% clip. First in the country. And you talk about the offensive prowess for UConn, but just do not sleep on their defensive prowess and what they're able to do and command on that side of the floor.
Melman misses everything. Eckel now pushing pace. It certainly feels like the UConn defense fuels the offense. There's a tough collision with Mason, no whistle.
It looked like something.
Yeah.
UConn trying to reorganize here, looking for that high-low look. Marquette doing a good job of disallowing easy touches.
Strong, working on the smaller defender.
Good defense there by Marquette.
With just 3 points, 1 of 8 from the floor as KK Arnold is able to get a hand on the ball. It goes out of play, stays with the Golden Eagles, but some of the Huskies players are calling for that to be reviewed.
KK Arnold looking like Skylar Diggins right there, winding that finger.
Yeah, wind that finger up, right, that's exactly it.
But right here, let's take a look at it. KK Arnold staying solid defensively, and then hustling for the basketball, and I think that's off Marquette. Yeah, but look at both Eckel and KK Arnold like, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, no. Run that back.
UConn is given the basketball, so the correct call made here. Looking to extend a 6-0 run in the last 2 minutes. Marquette has turned it over 4 times in just about that span. But denied by Forbes! Allie Rice gives her a push after the fact.
I love that kind of energy, right? When your teammates can be more excited for you than you are for yourself, especially on a defensive play, that's a thing of beauty. Watch right here, Skylar Forbes converging on the basketball. AZ Fudd denied at the rim with some ferocity. You love to see it. Big blocks, big smiles.
Fudd beyond the arc. Oh, AZ Fudd on fire here in Milwaukee.
And that's the resiliency of AZ Fudd. You can block me, but next play I'm coming right back at you with this triple.
She now has 14 points, but Forbes is called for a travel, so 5th turnover in just about 2.5 minutes here for Marquette.
AZ Fudd is just one of them ones. That's what I like to say. I mean, she's a real one. And the thing about her composure, I mean, that's the most impressive thing about her game to me. I mean, she just calm, cool, and collectively just destructs you in all ways.
Oh. Eckel took some contact. Alfie off the glass. UConn extends the lead into double figures.
Alfie right there, really fundamentally sound, keeping that basketball away from the defender and taking kind of a wide baby hook to get that angle on the rim for the finish.
Alfie's had some good minutes off the bench. 4 points a week ago, 11 rebounds, tying a career high against Butler a week ago as Forbes can't hit the baseline shots. Marquette with the O board. Mason on the drive, yes. Much needed there for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, that float game is lethal by Mason, and she's quick with that first step. Nice explosion there for the finish inside, and Marquette has been doing a good job of trying to attack that painted area. And UConn has the advantage right now, but they've been able to get downstairs a couple times to finish.
Mason's been aggressive too in hunting her own shot, leading the team in assists. But 7 points here in the early going. Arnold on the drive. And there's a whistle. She'll go to the line for 2. Kara Consuegra looking frustrated.
Yeah, she's just frustrated by that because her rotation at that point guard spot or that 2 guard spot is a little thin because of injury and minutes restrictions. But right there, clearly, you got to give it up to the next man defensively. If you can't beat your player as a primary defender to the spot, then you got to give it up and trust that the next line is going to be walled up for you, and they were not there.
Dave Mason, the senior guard, now has 2 fouls, so something to keep an eye on is Christy mentioned, the backcourt depth, little thin. Senior guard Kennedy Perkins is on a minutes restriction, looking to play her about 20 a game. She dealt with a lower leg injury, was out for about a month from mid-December into mid-January, and still hasn't quite been 100%. Then Olivia Porter, we mentioned, the senior point guard, out for the year with a lower leg injury, just suffered about a week and a half ago. Volker runs into some trouble, and it's a jump ball.
You're talking about Porter and her absence, you know, their point guard, the straw that stirs the drink for their team. And She was injured on February 1st, out for the season, and it's so tough. You know, you see for Carolina men with Caleb Williams going out.
Exactly.
You know, at this juncture, it's so hard to kind of recalibrate and restructure your team and your rotations.
An offensive foul is called there.
A little soft pressure here by Marquette. Still hanging around though, you know. I think they've done a good job. Just trying to contain AZ Flood has not been an easy task, to say the least, in this first half.
Great ball movement. Flood, the beneficiary. AZ Flood with 17 points before the halftime break.
Beast mode. AZ Flood is on one right now, and you love to see him. I mean, just like a duck on the pond. You know, she looks so calm, but those feet underneath are just moving with some energy. I mean, she's just a toughie.
And the ball movement to get her open, just elite from the Huskies, as there's now about a 7-second difference, game clock, shot clock before the halftime break. Marquette trying to close this gap. Perkins, Upberg.
Oh.
Upberg steals it. Volker flying in, gets 2.
That's the way to hold the rope if you're Marquette.
Last second shot heaved up by KK Arnold. It was close. Did not play 1 week ago. Came back, played about 19 minutes in Wednesday's matchup against Creighton. And coach mentioned maybe her still feeling a little bit slow. He's like, hey, we got to ease her back in. He was asked about her minutes in that Creighton game. He's like, yeah, we didn't want to go all in and play her too much. So maybe a little bit of working back into rhythm here.
Yeah, and she just turned it over there.
Yeah. Broadcasters jinx right on cue, but Skylar Forbes can't get the 3 ball to fall. Marquette, though, hustling for every board.
Well, I mean, Sarah Strong, 1 of 9 in that first half. She shoots at 60% from the floor. So just very different and a little bit surprising to see the lack of efficiency there.
Certainly an outlier for her based on not just this season, but her career. Fantastic freshman. Volker cashes in inside the paint.
And that's something that Lee Volker does exceptionally well, right? She has the ability also to find her sweet spots for Marquette. I mean, Kara Consuegra has likened her to a Swiss Army knife with her abilities on the court to be a playmaker, but also to be able to be a scoring machine for them.
And there's a whistle for a foul off ball as KK Arnold was waiting to draw it up. Lee Volker was called for her second.
Well, you saw Sarah Williams making that initial contact, but you cannot give her that contact inside. And that is the dynamic of post defense. The offense wants connectivity. They want to seal and sit down and get early work completed. But as a defender, you have to stay loose and pull that chair and get off of them.
Williams working on the inside. Smooth move there.
Yeah, smooth as an ice cube inside. Sarah Williams with defensive footwork to get the job done in the painted area, something that UConn did exceptionally well in that first half on the offensive end.
First shot of the game, and it went down. 1 of 1 is Sarah Williams, as we talked about her adjustment to this UConn team. Coach Ariema telling us last week he wants her to continue to be aggressive and find her spots, as you pointed out with Ali Zubel. With the talent on this team, as Forbes almost loses it, it can be easy to defer, but he wants Williams. As there's Strong getting involved on the inside. It's a block party here in Milwaukee.
Mason trying to do that 1-2 step. That was just not enough.
Arnold speeds in. Mason in transition again. Pulls it back out. Weiss.
It looked like Weiss was looking for her hands being moved to the side. Her follow-through was disrupted there. She was looking for some relief from the officials on that.
Weiss with just 2 points. Another player who has a pretty versatile skill set for this Marquette team, and Coach talked about her needing to be, not the friendly roll. And Williams couldn't get the putback either.
That's what you call the Kawhi Leonard. Sitting on the rim.
That's so good.
How many times did it spin? 6 times.
This is why I love working with you, Christy. Sometimes you pull things out that surprise me, and I can't stop laughing.
I watch hoops all the time, and I love it.
Well, hoops heads in this business. I love it. Late in the shot clock, though, here for Marquette. Perkins got to go. Catches rim, and Arnold slipped as she was running down the board. Appears to be okay.
Yeah, able to find it. The mask marvel of a player here for Connecticut. I mean, she brings all that energy on the defensive end, and for a guard can get in there and rebound with the best of them. I mean, she just stays at such a high level.
Speaking of a high level, AZ Fudd, are you kidding? 19 points in the midi. She's magic.
She's going to go for a 40 ball. I mean, she is just so comfortable. And we'll see what Marquette does to kind of disrupt that a little bit. I know Gino Ariema said for Lee Volker, he was going to show a lot of different looks to her. And whether that be players or blitzes, just not have her get comfortable. Maybe Marquette can do the same thing.
Perkins draws the foul inside. Shade can't believe it.
Yeah, the incredulous response there. But nonetheless, free throws on deck.
Shade's first foul call of the game. Marquette with a 2:42 scoring drought they're looking to end. 5'6" senior point guard who's had to step in, as we mentioned, after dealing with some injury. Kennedy Perkins going to the free throw line, shooting at a 78% clip from the charity stripe, just over that number. Sit down there with the second one, and Coach Consuegra has talked about her needing to step up, feeling like really during this losing streak they've been missing that floor general that Olivia Porter was to provide leadership. Strong with an easy 2 inside.
Yeah, I mean, just masterful in terms of the calculation in the quarter court by UConn. Just smart.
Close call there. Volker.
Good job by AZ Fudd to force Lee Volker to pass that thing out. But she had an opportunity to crack the code inside. AZ Fudd said no.
Meanwhile, there's a response. Volker with a smooth look.
Yeah, okay. That's why, right?
Yeah.
You give up a good opportunity, which that first shot would have been, to get a great clean look from 3. Volker, 44% striker, as we said, from range and from 2.
Strong striker inside. Starting to get going here in the third quarter.
And that was great because AZ Fudd was on the weak side corner, so Lee Volker couldn't come in and help on the weak side there for Strong. That was a great pass by UConn.
Strong now with 7 points. But Marquette gets the answer.
But that's what you do when you're UConn, right? You set up a power player like Sarah Strong and AZ Fudd. You put them on the same side. Look at them right here, right? It really makes tough choices for the defense, and they're going to the same thing again, right? No help on the weak side.
Why not? Why not if it's working? And Strong draws the foul.
And that's just strategic. I mean, that's chess, not checkers, okay? That's thinking 2 moves ahead. Like, how can we position ourselves where the defense has to make tough choices? And right here, you see Sarah Strong going to work on the inside, but you cannot help off of AZ Fudd on the weak side corner. You talk about don't help off on the ball side corner. Well, for UConn, they're going to spray it out to that weak side. And the way AZ's been blistering the nets, can't help. So UConn knows that. So even before Sarah Strong touched the basketball, that play was already structured for success.
The thing is, Strong doesn't just score, she can also facilitate so well for her size, standing at 6'2", so you know she's going to find the open shooter. 4.5 assists per game.
Yeah, holes in her pocket. And dimes dropping all over everywhere.
That's the thing about this UConn team. I know you're full of it today.
Hey, man, you know what? Listen, our bar's over here.
You're on fire like AZ Fudd. I'm not going to fud around and find out, okay?
You said DMV.
Strong, going the other way, Perkins.
People have been having a lot of conversations about that, but UCLA, number 2 in the country, sitting right behind UConn. That's the team that knocked UCLA out of the Final Four last year. So they are narrowing in on having that be a possibility to happen again and run that back.
Now, in your opinion, is UCLA the most prepared challenger of UConn when it comes to pursuing an Natty this season?
That's a great question. I mean, I think with UConn's depth right now and their continuity on the defensive end, right now they may hold a slight edge, but with UCLA, I mean, they have been playing exceptionally well in a conference that could send 12 teams to the NCAA tournament. So night in, night out. You know, that's the difference for UConn right now. I mean, Marquette was picked second in the Big East preseason poll.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's the difference in conference play. UCLA is being battle tested throughout that.
Yeah, UCLA with one of the toughest schedules in the country. At one point, like maybe 2 weeks ago, they were doubling up the next closest team in quad one wins with 12. The next closest team had 6, Christy.
How about that?
Just to give you an idea of how many quad one games they're playing. Like, they have one of the toughest schedules by number of metrics online. I've seen them at 1, 2, 3 in terms of the hardest schedules. And a big part of that is the Big Ten slate.
Yeah, absolutely. You see some zone here by UConn, 2-3.
And stepping in, and the bank is open for Kennedy Perkins, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And the bank's open on the weekends, even on Valentine's Day. Is that a holiday, or you just make it so? Valentine's Day, the day before for the ladies.
That's right.
That one, man. But that's where you want to attack, right there in that slot area, slot extended against that zone.
Marquette within 11, still playing very competitive against this top-ranked UConn team that is beating Big Ten opponents, or rather Big Ten, we're talking about the Big Ten, Big East opponents by nearly 40 points per game.
Yeah, it's been exceptional what they've been able to do and maintain. Gino Ariema has said that a lot of teams across the Big East play a 5-out style basketball. Yep. So sometimes that's hard to match up with, but on the other end, they have to match up with us too. Right. And that's my favorite thing. Right. That's what I said as a coach all the time. But coach, hey, they have this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, well, what do we have? Like, we have stuff too that they have to contend with. So let's not give so much credit. We're going to respect our opponents, but they got to deal with what we bring to the table too.
Forbes, bring it to the table inside and draws the foul.
That needs to do more of. It was a 22-14 advantage in paint points at halftime, and now you see Marquette staying intentional and getting it down inside to Forbes, and that's the second time she's completed plays right there at the rim with contact.
Ashlyn Shade called for her second foul. The third team foul on UConn here late in this third quarter. Going back to the Huskies' dominance, it's a nearly 40-point-per-game differential overall in the season. 46 in Big East games. Just to kind of put an exclamation point on how well Marquette is playing against a team that has been blowing out everybody, including top 25 opponents.
Yeah, no doubt. 4-possession game here.
Go to Strong inside. It's worked in the third quarter, and she does it again, muscling her way in.
Well, that is the 60% shooter that we are used to seeing. In that first half, she did not have that same explosion off the ground, if you will, and missed a kind of a handful of close to the rim buckets.
Very uncharacteristic. Strong now with 13. And there was a foul as Kaylee Heckel goes to the ground. The fans wanted to call on Heckel.
Kara Consuegra with her hands to heaven there, lifting her hands up saying a flop.
A little spicy here at the Al McGuire Center.
A little spice. Not right there. Hey, I don't know. I don't think that was much contact there. Well, did she leverage that left shoulder? Looked like it leveraged a bit. And that first view, though, it looked like she just ran into a wall, and teammates got to call that out. But on that second look, that shoulder lowered and displaced.
That was Vice's third foul, so she heads to the bench, a key part of this Marquette team. Though she has not had a prolific scoring game, certainly does a variety of things. Strong does everything, though, for the Huskies.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Strong has scored the last 12 points for UConn, as there is a whistle.
I think there was just a warning there. There's something, delay of game warning.
Delay of game warning for UConn as it just took place. Marquette still has the ball, inbounding, trying to break the press.
Yeah, but Sarah Strong in the second half, definitely more intentionality to her offensive attack mode. And she is a dominating force, and we know that about her. They're just 1 of 9 in that first half if you are just joining us.
Mason splits the defense, gets to the cup.
They need more of that. All right, the split action, 5 out, and then get right to the money.
Strong with 15 points, 12 of that have come in the second half.
Yeah. And you see a switch here with Volker and Forbes defensively with Strong and Flood.
Strong rises up. Oh, Strong is heating up as well here in Milwaukee.
I mean, there's her mom here, Allison Feaster, who was a WNBA star and played at Harvard, beat Stanford as a 16 seed back in the day, currently working in the Boston Celtics front office in the NBA. Where's Mom? I just want to see her reaction on that triple, because that was just cold-blooded out there.
Strong suddenly with 18 points as a jump ball is called, thanks to some strong defensive play by UConn. Strong, WBCA National Freshman of the Year, following it up with a strong sophomore season.
Yeah, take a look.
I did there.
Yeah, take a look right here. You see Volker just trying to clear herself. And just got tied up yet again. Ooh.
Forbes, good fake, and she gets the roll just in time.
Whew. That was tough, but she knew the shot clock was getting sparse and had to do something with some action and some motion, and got right downhill to the right.
Oh, speaking of getting downhill, Zabel comes up short though. Nice cut, nice pass. Couldn't finish it off.
How about that pass? My goodness.
Here comes UConn swarming defense. Tackle flying to the floor.
I would have such bad nerves playing against UConn because they are everywhere.
And you know what's coming. Melmans. Oh, great hustle for the rebound. Utberg bounces it up. Zabel comes away with it. And the connection there between Strong and Fudd just not quite on line.
Well, Kara Consuegra said, listen, they make catches so difficult for us, you know, for everyone. And she did add that as well, verbatim. But she said for us, we've got to just be able to move against that pressure and spread them out and try to attack like they did on that last possession that they found success.
Fudd trying to get the last shot. Fudd off the glass. AZ Fudd surpassing 20.
I think that's part of it. AZ Fudd went to work in that first half, and now it's been balanced out by Sarah Strong yet again right here.
Strong with the last 17 points for UConn. My goodness.
It's insanely good. I mean, what a dynamic duo those two have been all season. But in this game, I mean, it's been a tale of two hoopers. AZ Fudd in the first half, and then now Sarah Strong going silly here in the second.
Strong now has 20 points. Fudd has 21. Upberg trying to answer, but Marquette has not had an answer for Sarah Strong inside.
No. And I think they wanted to test those numbers and test the temperature there inside, and they found it to be very scorching hot in there.
Yeah, they fudded around, and they found out.
They found out.
It wasn't Fudd all the time. It was also Strong, but I can't think of another analogy of Sarah Strong thing. So if you got something up your sleeve, Christy, now is the time.
No, you know what? I don't write things down, so whatever it pops out.
Just pops it. You can't force it. You can't force it. That's fair.
A little organic.
UConn with the 15-point lead here. It's Fudd, it's Strong. Of course, they have so many others, though, who can contribute, which is what makes them so difficult to slow down. Zabel has not scored yet. She's in the game right now. You know, she's a player who can catch fire, but why not keep going to Sarah Strong?
Spinning and winning. That's Sarah Strong right there. Oh, my God. I mean, her name just suits her, okay? Let's just call it that. She's just a sophomore. But she is a human wrecking ball when it comes to scoring and blocking.
Oh my goodness, Sarah Strong doing it on both ends for the Huskies. She has come to life here in the second half.
I am holding my temples because watch out below. Oh my goodness. I said that Sarah Strong was a human wrecking ball on the offensive side, but on the defense, sending that back.
Yep.
It's just tremendous force. Sarah Strong with a massive block. Oh my goodness.
Return to sender.
Oh, man.
That rejection was outrageous. Oh, what a drive. Really well done by Ashlyn Shade.
Ashlyn Shade coming along, and you know, last year as a freshman we were talking about, okay, well, I'm sorry, a sophomore, but looking at what she's been able to do over the course of her career from the three-point line, well, she's not just that. She can also get downhill and finish like that last play.
Strong with the steal. Couldn't cash in on the other end. Forbes can't get out of pressure, though. Multiple bodies on the floor. Ball is loose. Forbes has it.
Ooh, she almost traveled.
Strong yelling, trap, trap, trap. Fudd lays it in. And there is a whistle. Kara Consuegra calling it.
You know, that's the beauty of this UConn team, and we were talking about the depth they're in. But I think, you know, the defensive energy that Sarah Strong brought in that third quarter was just as palpable as her offensive destruction that she was able to complete on the other side of the court.
Absolutely. Strong with 3 steals. As there is a putback chance for Viniaco.
Yeah, Vidiaco kept that ball nice and high. Was able to power that one back up on the second side. And they need more of that, right? Extra possessions on the O glass.
Bottom of your screen as we were just coming back to the action. You saw UConn shooting numbers through the roof in the second half as well as a team, but Bud and Strong, a big reason why is Bud with a rare miss in the mid-range. Yeah. Don't often see that with her efficiency through the roof as well.
Yeah, Volker made him put her down on the floor, and then she tried to get to that 1-2 dribble poke. And just off the mark on that one.
Volker from the corner. Oh, Volker knocks down the corner tray.
Yeah, splits those nets. That corner pocket triple. And Lee Volker could be coming alive, and that's what they need as well, right? Get those second chance opportunities like on the previous possession on the inside. Let Volker get busy and start to cook from the outside. Get back into it with some momentum.
Volker with 15 points, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. 6 on the shot clock. Shade gets it to go.
Nice drop in. It looked like she was contemplating dropping that off on the weak side. I thought she may have had a better crack at it, getting it in herself, and did so. There's a high ball screen action here from Marquette. 2-player action with 3 players emptied out.
A great pass. Vice puts it up and in for the deuce.
Oh, but what a dime. The goggle vision right there by Jaden Mason. And the patience, that's what it takes. Sometimes, you know, your teams that don't execute well, they're going too fast, right? But I just thought that was a nice poised and composed possession by Marquette.
Mason averaging more than 4.5 assists per game, gets it done defensively, the team leader in steals. But there you see maybe some of the senior leadership. She's experienced, she's been on this team for a couple of seasons, was with SIU Carbondale prior to that transferring in. But it's a steal. Fun. She is cooking.
Yeah, nice and smooth is easy when you're easy Fudd. I mean, that was just a long cross-court pass that looked like it was about to be a bounce pass. Easy to anticipate. And he picked off the vine like a grape, going the other side with it. Easy Fudd.
These are the kind of mistakes that you cannot make with how disruptive this UConn defense is.
Yeah, they forced 15 turnovers in that first half, 17 points off. And gave up that shot. You know, sometimes, well, coach, I was open. Well, and no disrespect, open for a reason right there. Don't shoot that. You gotta have discipline, right? You can't be baited into taking shots that the opponent wants you to take, percentage-wise.
Shade from beyond the arc. Alfie got a hand on it. Shade with the second try. Alfie still fighting for the board, had it taken away. Perkins getting it done underneath. Baseball pass ahead to Volker.
Yeah, nice patience there. Looked like she was trying to make that extra pass in transition. Thought better of it. Wisdom coming through for Lee Volker.
UConn doing a good job getting behind the ball as well. She didn't have a lot of time. Volker draws Fudd. 5 on the shot clock. Counting down here. Mason gets it off. Too strong.
Had a chance though. Her fader game is tough too.
Arnold, tough getting to the basket.
Yeah, KK Arnold is just so quick with her game. But it starts with her thought process. She's so smart, right? And got right where she needed to go to finish.
Arnold now with 10 points, 3 of 4 shooting, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Efficiency numbers, impressive, 53% from the field for a guard. Not too shabby.
No. I mean, she's taking the proper shots for the team.
Volker. Jump ball called after Isabel was able to get her.
I was never going to say, but
no.
I mean, every team is different, but he's had some exceptional runs, obviously, to be undefeated so many times over, and to have 12 championships, 24 Final Fours. I mean, it's just incredible the way he's been able to maintain it through every kind of iteration of generational, oh, I don't know, this generation's so different, but is it though?
Yeah.
You can keep it the same and keep it relational and not always have a transactional situation about your program, and that's what Gino Auriemma has done exceptionally well. The respect is there on both sides.
A Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer for good reason.
Absolutely.
Gino Auriemma, one of the, if not the greatest coach to ever do it. I don't know where you kind of stack up some of the all-time greats, but certainly you make an argument for the best coach.
And they had the player of the year last year, and a #1 overall pick in the WNBA draft to the Dallas Wings and Paige Beckers. And he said, wow, missing her. People are asking, is this team better? It's like, dang, how do you say that? But I mean, every team is different, and every team is going to leave their own personal legacy through their 4-year tenure or 5-year tenure. But it's just been fun to watch, you know, and just to see the way that he's been able to do it with excellence.
Yeah, the thing that sticks out to me is just the level of buy-in from all of these players who come in as superstars. McDonald's All-Americans, the 8th and 9th players in this rotation, but people are bought into their roles. I just saw, you know, Kaylee Heckel just got called for the foul, but she's a player who, you know, was one of the best coming out of high school. She's played for USA Basketball, and she comes in here and she's embracing this role coming in off the bench, and that's what you see up and down. Everyone's willing to do what it takes for the team. And you're a superstar in high school.
But do you defer? Because you get here and you look to the right and to the left and you see All-Americans and superstars. So how do you fit in, right? And I think Gino Auriemma has really poured into the team in terms of giving them confidence. Just go and be you too. You're an All-American. You just go out there and hoop and do what you do for this team.
Heckel rolls out, but a good look there. To your point, I just think Auriemma does such a good job making it all work together. Like you said, wanting the players to be confident, but also everyone accepting their role, making the right play. He just said after last game, he was like, listen, just speaking in post-game, he's like, I don't judge my players on how many points they score because we have so many that can do it. Zabel, how do you impact the game in other ways if it's not your night to be the lead scorer?
No question. I used to cover up the stat sheet when I coached, like where the points were. I was like, and I know people have their own way about the plus minus, but I'm like, you had 8 turnovers. I don't care if you were 20 and 10. Like, we can't have that, right? And it's fool's gold when you win. Because did we really feel that? Because we won the game? Yeah, we felt it. And if we didn't feel it this game, we're gonna feel it next game and we lose because of that. So it's always keeping the main thing. And I think that's what Gino Auriemma has been able to do exceptionally well. You know, holding people accountable to excellence and being their best selves.
Redshirt sophomore Anna Patterson is checked in here, Portland, Indiana native, working on the inside for UConn as they look to close out another Big East win, their 63rd straight, including tournament play.
I mean, just phenomenal, especially in the second half, I think. Going to that zone, I think that took Marquette out of what they like to do in terms of getting UConn in rotation and attacking inside, or getting a piece of the paint and spraying out, and that's what Marquette likes to do. They kind of took them out of the fluidity of their offensive decisions with that, and then paid it off on the other side on the offensive end.
Just about a 35-second difference. Game clock, shot clock, as Patterson can't get it to rattle home.
It was a good look, though, and proper piercing of the paint for the spray-out opportunity in that mid-range.
Forbes still working inside, and there's a whistle for the foul. Forbes with 12 points. Both were leading the way with 15. Mason with 11. 3 players into double figures here. As we check out UConn's remaining schedule at Villanova, they've got Providence, Georgetown, at St. John's to close out the Big East regular season before the tournament. And I know Coach Auriemma has talked about just continuing to fine-tune right now and prepare his team in the way they know they need to play when it comes to NCAA tournament action. That's what he kind of continues to talk about. We've got to fine-tune and continue to hold ourselves to a higher standard.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, a 42-28 advantage in paint points. A lot of that occurred in the second half when Sarah Strong got cooking inside. And a lot of the players like Azzi Fudd and Sarah Strong, they're only going to play 3 quarters, or maybe just a skosh over 3 quarters in terms of minutes. So everyone else can kind of pick up the pace in that way. And speaking of pace, it was an 18-11 advantage in fast break points in this game, and I think that was a big difference. But 19 steals to just 5 steals for Marquette. I mean, the overall factor in this game was the defensive prowess by UConn and their ability to score off of those stops.
This is a special UConn team continuing a special season, and they close out a road win here in Milwaukee.